Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
What will we are here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on the Oldie Station all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we are looking forward to answering your calls. And we want calls all across the United States because we just love to talk to you. Tonight, we're going to put the power in our words. We want to put the power in our words. We want to put the power in our intentions. And we want to come to the understanding of what words mean. It's not just the word you say, it's how you say it. And the emphasis that you put into the phrase, and its tone, and its vibration. Now, when you speak to create. But we weren't taught that when we started to grow up as little ones. Nobody said, hey, this is how you move forward and create a world for yourself by just saying words and making things happen. No, they didn't do that. They didn't create with our words around us. They just told us, do this, do that, don't touch the stove. Play over here, be nice to your brother. Nobody said to us growing up, when you're little, hey, if you want to make a wish and say, I am the person who is going to the park today, and manifest it. I am, and whatever follows the words I am is what you're creating. And most of us will wake up and they may say, I am tired. Well, you programmed your body to be tired that day. Now, I understand we have a lot going on, and often many of us may wake up feeling tired or the dread of the day. But you have to put the power of the words into the energy of how your day is going to be. You direct the outcome. You direct how people behave around you. I didn't think you knew that, but here we are. I am telling you, you can direct the way people behave around you by simply saying, I am the conquering force of God in motion. The power of God that flows through me is only sending through this energy love, light, protection. You have that power to speak. So many of us are so caught on some of our old stories, and we keep bringing these bags of burdens and tripping ourselves up by talking about them. And what are we doing? If you say on one hand you want a relationship and you want a new partner, a boyfriend, you want to get married, you want to have a baby, but all you're talking about is how somebody cheated on you and created problems in your life for you, and they were maybe negative or abusive. If that's all you're talking about, what do you think your words are going to attract into your circle? More of a similar behavior. It is difficult to balance the energy, I understand, because as humans we want to talk, we want to share. But why are we sharing the stuff that isn't going to create what we want? Why are we sharing the things that are going to disrupt us? Then we don't have the flow that we need. We are separate from our words because we are creating a negative circle around us, and we're not able to manifest what we do want. We're just stuck in the mud with what we don't want. I don't know if any of you who are from up north, or even somewhere where it rains a lot, you've had this experience of your wheel gets stuck. Like, have you ever gotten stuck in the ice? I know I've gotten stuck in the snow and the ice, and the more you spin that wheel, the less likely it is you're going to get out. And many of us are spinning our wheels just trying to get ourselves out of the same situation. And all we're doing by trying to get out of the situation and focusing on that situation is creating a situationship for the future. You can craft your own world. You can create a new story by looking at what brings you dissatisfaction, not giving it a lot of power, just recognizing it for something that is not conducive to the life that you want, doesn't make you feel good. And you can begin to speak power over your life and over others. You can speak the energy of, when I am in the company of this person, I am going to hold the vibration of love, and this person who's usually rude to me is going to be nice. And I am directing the energy so that we can have a nice frequency. We can create a powerful experience. You have that in you. Have you ever gone for a job and you went for the interview and you felt really, really good? And then you go to your second interview and you feel even better and you're like, I've got this. And you're really excited. But then you get in the room of one of those final interviews and they've got that panel of people. And you know, they always put in at least one sourpuss in the panel, right? Someone who you swear is there to trip you up. And they ask you a question and their energy is just not pleasant to you. And suddenly all that confidence just ran out like someone poked a hole in your enthusiasm balloon. And they took your energy because you didn't seal yourself off. You didn't say, I'm the conquering power that is powerful and qualified for this job. And no question is going to catch me off guard. You didn't pre-connect the energy to your intention. You just let it run wild. And when it runs wild, this is how you miss out. You miss out on the opportunity to really show people your best foot forward. Now, often in a type of interview setting, one person's weird question and you're not quite handling it perfectly doesn't always make or break the end of the opportunity or whether you get it or not. It doesn't end that possibility. But what it does do is it shows you that you weren't set enough in your intention. And inevitably, the people in the panel know that person and they know that the role that person likes to play and the dynamic of interviewing. And most of the good-hearted people in the interview panel won't hold it against you. But it happens. It happens in life. It happens when you're out. Do you ever have that feeling that feels like you're kind of foggy and out of sorts and you don't know really how you feel? You're feeling not yourself and you go out and then every interaction with people throughout the day is just off because you're off. Your frequency is off. And maybe it's because you told a story of something that wasn't a pleasant experience earlier that day or the day before, and unbeknownst to you, you haven't shook that frequency, that energy off. Be careful what you say. And what do you say when you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you look in the mirror and say, I am amazing and I am fabulous and I'm going to create a great day? Or, do you say things like, I don't like the way you look terrible? Do you criticize yourself in the mirror? Is your self-talk very negative? Are you worrying that the sky is going to fall at any minute and you're running around like Chicken Little, not sure what's going to happen? Where are your emotions in this? Because your emotions are a power, and those powerful emotions are backing your words. So, of course, it's easier to manifest a problem with your car if you're saying, this car, I hate this car, I don't like this car, it's always giving me problems. Well, of course, it's going to give you problems again. Of course, if you say, I always get a flat tire, you're going to get a flat tire. Of course, if you say, I'm always attracting people who betray me or are jealous of me, you're going to attract people who are jealous of you or are going to betray you because that's what you think always happens. Now, I understand you're looking at the history and saying, but Sarah Spiritual, this is what has always been going on. Then change the frequency, change the channel. Some of you, as you listen to us on the oldies, you're listening to me on 95.9. Others are listening to me on 95.3. Others are listening to me on 96.9. Change the frequency, change the channel. If it's not coming in clear from one area, then tune it up and get a better connection. Most of us are not connected to our frequency, and we are constantly unplugging ourselves with our words. And the words we say to others. I had a client who was sharing with me an experience with her boyfriend, and we were in our session, and she's like, I'm a mess. I just broke up with my boyfriend. I said, what? I said, you're not supposed to break up. What's going on? And, she started to tell me what made her upset, but then she shared with me what she had said. And I said, oh, we have to do some damage control here, because you said some pretty strong words, and you love this person. Why would you say that to them? Well, I'm done. And I said, okay, you may feel you're done, but you've come so far in this relationship. Why would you give up now just when things are getting ready to be where you want it to be? It was, one of those complicated relationships that had a weird start because everything wasn't lining up perfectly. But she put in writing all these things that she was feeling, which valid to feel that way. She was upset. We understand. But she also said some harsh things. And I said, those words could stay in between this relationship and have the power to ruin the relationship. When all the two of you were doing is having a disagreement as to how he was handling something, and then you were totally in touch with your feelings and how it was making you feel, and he wasn't reacting in the way that you wanted him to, and because he wasn't giving you the reaction that you want, you went off. And it was a valid reason to be upset, and she has a lot of things that have built up, so we could see how someone could get to that point. But that's when the words self-control come in. You have to have self-control. You have to pick your battles. You must decide when it is the best time to say what's on your mind and how you can say it that will come from a place of power, not reactive, how you can say it from a place of intention, and be sure that what you're saying you're willing to back up, because should they take you at your word, you may have just dug yourself in a hole that you can't get out of. Now, of course, on that day they were broken up, but I was like, you're not broken up, so don't worry about it. And she's like, I'm leaving, I'm packing up. I was like, I don't advise that. You need to reach out to this person and tell them that you love them and you're upset over this, and that, you chose some words that were strong, but it's out of frustration, and we really need to talk. And do a little damage control. It's important that we really are aware of other people's feelings. We are aware of how our words hit them, but also what we're creating with our words. Because you're creating your reality. And so, no, this young lady isn't broken up, and no, she didn't leave, and this is how it's going now, and everything's, back on track. And maybe the relationship needed that shake up there for the moment, so we don't doubt that. But she almost created a reality that I'm sure she wasn't going to want to live with in the long term. And the reality really started by the self-talk that she was doing within herself as to how mad she is and frustrated and wondering, why isn't he doing this? And why isn't this happening fast enough? And this whole conversation that she was having within herself that she wasn't sharing with him, or, she knew she couldn't share because it is what it is, but she got herself all worked up. And it only took this person to do one thing, misstep, and she was full-fledged crazy. When have you seen yourself that way? What have you done and said that you can't take back? Because I promise you, people don't forget. I promise you, if you told someone I'm done, they still remember that. They remember their abandonment emotion got triggered, and they remember that. They remember when you said something mean like you're not lovable, or I can't love you, or you're difficult to love. Whatever they said, you remember. And What they don't realize is that when they say those things, they create a sense of, I don't feel emotionally safe. And if someone doesn't feel emotionally safe, then the conversation they're going to have within themselves is that I'm not emotionally safe. And their words to themselves, coupled with your words, are going to create an outcome of a relationship that is inevitably going to create a split unless both parties are aware of words and recalibrate the conversations moving forward and come from a place of love. Many of you have psyched yourself out of the life that you said you wanted, and God almost had it right there before you, and you just sidestepped it. Like, oh, no, that's not what I want to do because it didn't meet this expectation. And you began a self-conversation that said all the things that were wrong with it, instead of the statement of, I am always in the right place at the right time, and God is always opening up doors for me, and I walk through the doors and everything falls into place perfectly, and I always know the right thing to do. You're not saying that. You're looking at everything that's not working. You have to know, walking in a door, what you want your intention to be for a meeting, what you want your day at work to be like. Or you're just sitting there thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to deal with my coworker at this meeting, and they're just going to go on and on and on and talk about mindless things. We're going to be in this 3-hour meeting, and you just ruin your morning. Now, that coworker may continue to talk about things that don't seem important, but they just like to hear themselves talk at the meeting, so there they are. But how you talk to yourself going into the meeting determines whether they annoy you or not. And maybe as you practice your words and your energy, let this meeting be powerful and effective, and, let it be a quick and easy meeting. Let everyone be filled with intention. And as they are filled with intention, let us accomplish a great deal so we can all go back to our respective offices or desks and continue with our workday with ease and grace and peace. I am a peaceful person. I am abundant. I am powerful. My energy is the energy that's going to change the frequency of the room at my meeting. And while I'm at my meeting, I'm going to be a contributing factor to how well this meeting goes, because I am aware of my energy, I am aware of my frequency, I am aware of my emotions, and I'm aligned with the universe. Do you know how great your meeting would be if you said that to yourself? Do you know how fabulous life would be if you prepped everything with what you want it to be? Maybe you say, I'm going to win a number today. I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to have, I was talking to a client who wants to have $20 million by the end of the year. So what did we manifest? We're manifesting $20 million. So the person is manifesting, I am the man who has $20 million in my account at this bank, and it is by the end of December 2025. I am the man who has accomplished that. And they're putting that energy forth in every single thing they do. They know that they are a magnet for money, and they know that their words and their thoughts are manifesting. So if you take a good look at your life wherever you are, I know things happen to us and around us, but how are you positioning yourself in that story? And how much of that story did you actually inadvertently bring towards you and create something you didn't want? Disrupt the balance that the universe had because you were too busy worrying about all the things that had gone wrong before, that now you just simply attracted another version of chaos. You have the power with your words to transform anything. You have the power to take a dream that you thought had passed and look at that dream and say, I am the woman, the man who is recalibrating this vision I had when I was younger, and I am going to create a version that aligns with who I am now at the time of my life that I am. I am that I am. Speak your words. Speak love into your relationships. Speak abundance into your lives. Speak forgiveness. Speak joy. Be in harmony. And trust that the universe is always supporting you every step of the way. And we are always supporting you here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, right here on the Oldie Station. We're so glad that you're listening to us on 95.3, 95.9, 96.9, 106.9. We love our friends on WSFS on 104.3 in Miami. And we're glad to have our friends hanging out with us and listening on 104.7 HD3 and 103.1 HD3. It's a powerful time that we are living in. And you have the power to speak over this world, over this country, what you desire. I know there's a lot of people talking and a lot of talking heads. But you speak peace into this world. You speak love into this world. And if we all focus on that frequency, well, we'll find love, we'll find peace, and the world will be a better place. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, yes, indeed, I want to talk to you at 866-972-7247. You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores. Heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
would you do differently? Well, we're going to find that out right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. So glad to be talking to you and welcoming your questions at 866-972-7247. And We're also going to take your questions from Facebook and YouTube, so be sure to put your questions and your comments in the feed. And we're really glad to be celebrating with all of you and sharing this experience of being on national radio. And we love it so much that what we are looking forward to do is celebrate with all of you live at the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. So if you ever wanted to be live at a radio show, this is your chance. We are going to broadcast live from the Expedito Enlightenment Center on June 11th. We have a very special, powerful program coming up. It's a party, and we're going to have prizes, giveaways. You're going to get to ask a question. So if you'd like to ask your question and meet me in person, we have VIP tickets that are going to be sold. So you're going to want to subscribe to my email list to make sure that you are aware of that. I want you to save the date, because the message and the emails are going out tomorrow. We're going to post the experience and all the information on my Sarah Spiritual website. So you can go to sarahspiritual.com, and there you'll find your information tomorrow. And we would love to have you at the Expedito Center on June 11th, because we are celebrating 11 years of being on radio. And we are so glad to be with all of you. This tonight is my 769th live show. So we've been talking to all of you since 2009. If you just found us on the radio, where have you been all my life? I would love to connect with you. I mean, we've been waiting for you. You just happen to turn the radio to the right dial or pop into the right YouTube feed. And here we are, connecting all of us and helping make the world a better place and helping you navigate your life and all of life's stories and challenges. So we're going to go to the phone lines at 866-972-7247. We are broadcasting live right here in South Florida. Many of you hear us on iHeartRadio, so we love that you can reach us through many different ways. And we're going to go to the phone lines. And I've got Sharon, and Sharon is in New York. Sharon, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, Sarah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
I'm doing good. Thank you. The reason for my call, I spoke to you a few months ago, but I have just two questions. I spoke to you 2 months ago, and I was saying I had like some financial, like with some money coming in or whatever, and that up to now, that did not happen. So the next question that I have is that my ex-husband, which was my daughter that passed her dad,
yes,
he is begging me. He's begging me to get back with him. He's telling me now that we're soulmates and all of this stuff.
Really?
So I just wanted to, yes. So I just wanted to know how you felt. You know, I was always like in love. I'd always loved him, you know, because, you know, we had, you know, a special child. But, you know, he did some things in the past.
Yes.
That I wasn't too happy with. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't honor
So
the.
that now he's telling me.
He didn't honor the relationship.
right.
So he didn't honor the
Right,
relationship. So, what is his birthday, please?
It's November 28th, 1996. Oh, 1969, I'm sorry.
Okay.
1969.
I was going to say 1996. I'm like, who are you dating here, honey?
I know.
Robbing the cradle over here. What's happening? Well, you know, he's had a lot of time to reflect, and the past 3 years have been difficult for him. He is very sincere in what he's saying. Only you can determine if you can forgive and forget, but I also want you to remember that some of his ways of being, he can be a difficult one. He can be challenging, temperamental. You those ways aren't going to change. That's who he is, right? So if he's learned to kind of govern those emotions a bit more and has become more mindful, and you know, you can most certainly, you don't have to let him back in to move in, but if you want to go out with him a few times and kind of see where he's at and get a temperature gauge as to what he's really about now at this juncture of his life. I know the loss of your daughter was tough on both of you. And, she was a fighter. She outlived what, what anyone expected, right? No one thought she'd live that long. And what kept her alive? Your love, everybody's love, her sheer will to be on this planet and seize every moment, every opportunity and take it all in, right? So energetically, she was very in tune, very spiritual, your daughter. She came here to teach you all. Your husband wasn't mature enough to handle all of that. Not that he didn't love her.
Right.
But he wasn't mature enough to handle the special child.
Yes.
And so now he's reflected on things and he realizes he's made a misstep. Now, let's get back to what you started with earlier. You and I spoke a couple of months ago, and I said I see money, and I'm going to tell you I do still see money. I just feel that last year was a dark time. It was a difficult time, and a lot of resources, got changed up on you, and, you had a lot go on with your daughter and her passing. And so there were expenses there, and your finances changed after her passing as well. Is that also true?
Yes.
And so now you have to just recalibrate finances, and I do see that you're going to be all right, and I do still see money coming. And you just need to give your ex at least the opportunity to show you who he is.
Yes. So you think I should give him a try?
Just get to see him. I mean, you're still friends. You still, you share the loss of your daughter. You share the upbringing of her. And so on that premise, we go out to dinner with the friends. We see a movie with the friends. We have deep conversations with the friends. We really take a gauge, a temperature of, what does he want? Because I also know this about your husband. He doesn't do well alone. He's also he's afraid to be alone and not have anyone look after her and take care of him, right? And you are not looking to take care of anyone right now. So we need to know that he's going to come to the table, not with the intention that now that you're no longer your daughter's caretaker, you're going to become his.
Exactly right. I agree with you.
So I see your husband. I know your ex, right? He wants to know that he's got somebody there should he need somebody. But we want to know, what does he bring to the table and what will he do because he cares for you, and what is he going to do if you need him?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because you were the giver in all your relationships. And that's your blessing, absolutely. But it's also been a hindrance for you because you didn't know when to stop giving and people bled you dry.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so very important.
Okay, but I have some more personal questions about him.
Yes.
So I'm gonna call you and set up an appointment with you so we can talk more personal about the situation.
Yes, we can. Yeah, because he's he's in his own pickle. We understand that. But love never dies, right? When love is love, it lasts forever.
Love is love. Yes. And he was and when I gave birth to my daughter, that was like our love child. It was because we really were in love with each other at that time.
Yes, but we're also not looking to sign up for a situationship, right? So
absolutely right.
We don't want that.
Absolutely. But I'll give you a call. We could talk personally about the situation. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I look forward to connecting with you. Bye for now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
866-972-7247. If you just joined us, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and this is the place where you can call and we will answer your questions all across the nation. And we're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. I've got Debbie on the line. Debbie, how are you?
Yes, good. And you?
I'm doing well. Good to make this connection with you. And what is your question for us tonight?
Okay, my question is that, I have two questions. One is that I feel a little bit stuck on I have many projects on mine about different things that I want to start doing, but I feel like stuck. I don't know why. maybe because of motherhood, I have a 1 year and a half baby. So maybe, but she's going to school now, so that's not my excuse.
I understand.
And then.
Well, let's
then
start with
the
one
other question
question.
is that-
No. Let's just do one question at a time, okay?
Yeah.
Because then I'll not hear spirit completely. So, first thing I heard is you're afraid. You're scattered. You don't know where to begin. I actually just had this conversation similar with someone. You know, they want to get started. They want to launch something they want to do, but we need a clear idea, but we have a lot of ideas. So you need to write the ideas down. And as you write the ideas down, you need to see what are the ideas that would be easiest and most rewarding for you to execute, for you to do first, given the confines of maybe your daughter's school and how long she's at school. First thing I heard is that you don't feel worthy. You're afraid. You're afraid to start and fail. Many a great successful business person has had many businesses that they started and left and walked away from. Some turned out okay. Some didn't work at all. And you're not going to know until you try. And you truly have to give it a try. Mm-hmm. And really focus on something. This is a very creative year. So you want something that is an extension of your personality, your creativity, your ingenuity. This is what we want to focus on. So it is a year for you to be outside the box, out of your routine, something that makes you stretch to new heights. This is going to help you the best. Does this make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what is your second question for me?
Okay, then the second question is that somebody that we know that she owns a restaurant contacted my husband asking if we should join her as a partner. And I don't know, we went to talk to her, but we are not that convinced about that because...
No. I don't think that restaurant's going very well.
No, right?
No. I feel like she needs to partner with somebody because she needs help. But if you partner with
money,
her,
I think.
Yeah, exactly. I meant help meaning money, and so if she, you partner with her, and then it's not that we just needed more money so that we could, make some improvements, change the menu, do some things, because then if it doesn't work, you're all out your money. So that's not a good thing. I don't see that is the best opportunity for you. If you wanted to have a restaurant, I'd rather see you start your own little spot than partner with her because I feel like she has things that are out of order and she's in a thing where she needs to do damage control and business is not flowing for her in a way that she can cover all her bills. This is what I see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the problem.
Okay, so that doesn't sound like a good partnership for me.
No,
okay?
Not at all.
Not at all, because you want to save what money you have to use to invent your ideas and invest in you and create the vision that you have for yourself. All right, Debbie, I hope I've been of help to you tonight.
Yeah,
thank you so much. We appreciate your call.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. Did you hear the news? We're having a party. On June 11th, we are celebrating our 16-year anniversary at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. So mark that in your calendar because I sure would love to meet you and celebrate with all of you, our listeners, who have made our radio show a very powerful experience for people for the past 16 years. So we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. Stay with us. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual, and we'll be right back.
Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know me. Every song has its story.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
We are here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation on the Oldie Station. And we're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. I just love the conversations I have with people who say they're driving down the highway and something I say catches their attention, and next thing they know, they're writing the phone number down and picking up the phone and calling in to ask a question. And thank you so much, all of you who come to visit me for a personal reading session at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. There we get to have 30 minutes or more, depending on the session you picked, and we get to share information. And Spirit guides me and tells me the things you need to hear at this juncture of your life. And we get to hear from your guides and your angels. And sometimes a loved one pops in, and we get to really answer your questions and drill down so you can ask some of the most personal questions, because we all have things we need to navigate. Well, we're going to go to our phone lines at 866-972-7247 in just a minute, but I'd love to pull a question or two from my friends on Facebook. I was just in the Facebook feed and my friends on YouTube and ask them, well, what's going on with you? And I saw some comments here, and I also saw some questions. So I would love to answer a couple of those questions before we go back to our phone lines. So let's pop on over to Facebook and YouTube and see what we have. All right, we've got a Facebook feed question, and we have Brandy Bryant Johnson. And she says, my husband Ronnie was put into hospice 2 days ago, and we are awaiting his transition. He seems to be struggling. Any advice from the guides, at this time? So the first thing I want to let you know is that, your husband is definitely struggling with leaving. He doesn't really want to leave the planet. So he's kind of lingering on. He's struggling because he really doesn't want to leave you, doesn't want to leave family. And what you can do is ask his guides to surround him and his loved ones on the other side and let him know that he's supported from the guides and the angels. And you give him permission, Brandy Bryant Johnson, to go, and that let him know that you will be okay and that you don't want to see him suffer anymore, and that he will be at peace on the other side, and you'll be looking for a sign from him. And the two of you agree on a sign, or if not, whisper in his ear if he can't communicate, and tell him what you'd like him to show you so that you know he's arrived on the other side safely, which of course he will. But it's just a little thing between the two of you that will give him the comfort to know it's okay to go, that there are loved ones on the other side waiting to greet him, his angels, his guides. Just reassure him at this time. I know that it's going to take a little bit more time, but once you give him this sense of peace, he'll be able to go peacefully. We are truly sorry for this difficult time you and your family are going through. We send the angels to surround you, Brandy, and your husband, Ronnie, at this time. Thank you so much. Let's go to another question on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see who we've got on our Facebook feed here. Let's take a look and see if our YouTube, our Facebook. Okay, we've got a Facebook question. We have Anne, and Anne says, how to let go of the past. She gives me her birthday, and she says, been doing affirmations. Any message that they want me to know, am I doing right things to help myself? So, Anne, right now, letting go of the past is difficult because you've had a lot of disappointments, and there's been a lot of sorrow, and there's been loss. And so in all those shifts and changes that really caught you very unexpectedly, I feel like 2024 into this year of 2025 has been difficult for you. And so knowing that, I see that you've just been hit by several different things, and you are doing the right thing. And use the beginning of this show, the monologue, in the beginning to use those words and write them down and begin to incorporate those I am statements into your daily conversation, because they will help recalibrate the energy so you would have a faster result and more support for yourself. Remember, I am the woman who is powerful. I am abundant. I am free. I am at peace. I am a magnet to good experiences. I am healthy. I am healed. I am free from hurt and pain and grief. I embrace harmony and joy and happiness. I am grateful. Please begin to use many phrases like this to begin to recalibrate the future for yourself, and it'll move very quickly, and you'll see that there'll be a great outcome in a very short time. Thank you so much, Anne, for your Facebook question. Well, we're going to go to our phone lines, and if you'd like to put your question in our feed on Facebook or on YouTube, on Sarah Spiritual, on YouTube and Facebook, then please go right ahead. We'll be popping back to see what we've got in the feed and answer some more questions in just a little bit. So at this moment, I've got to go to Denise, and she is in Hollywood. Denise, how are you? Hi, Denise.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm great. Good to make this connection, Denise. How did you hear about the show?
It's been it's been almost a year since I've been listening to you.
Well, thank you. We're glad that you've been listening. And yes.
And I believe it was like 7 months ago I spoke to you, and I asked you, where do you see my relationship? And you told me you see the end of this year. You see the ending of it. The end of this year would be the last of it. And which, yes, it was the end of it. And ever since then, never called, never made no contact. I stayed completely away because I already got the answer that it would be the end. So I just let it go completely.
Yes.
And lately, I've been hearing messages. He's been trying to communicate with me, try to call me, and I block him everywhere. And recently, there's a number that called me, and when I heard, I didn't even know who it was. And when he said who it was, I just hung up the phone. So he went to my mother and said he don't know what to do. I block him everywhere. When he do call me from another number,
yes, of course.
I hear his voice. I hang up.
Yes.
My mom say he looked dried up, real small, like someone that's really stressing, and
Right.
She's telling me, please unblock him so you can hear him.
Well, Denise, what's that gentleman's birthday, please?
What's his birthday? October 9th.
I was going to say, you really did block him if you don't. You don't remember his. Like, gosh darn, girl, you really blocked that boy. So
I did block him because I'm talking to the person on the phone, and I'm saying, who is this? And he's like, how you doing? Happy Easter. I'm like, thank you, same to you. But I couldn't catch his voice. And he said the name the first time. I said, excuse me. He said it again the second time, and I just hung up.
Yeah. But let's go back in time. That wasn't a healthy relationship for you. That relationship wasn't fueling you.
Good.
Right? His life isn't going well because you were holding him up. His life isn't going well because you made sure that he felt pumped up. He doesn't have anyone to pump him up. He doesn't have anyone to help him out. He realizes that he's not doing well without you. But I know that you may be missing company and not quite have the partner of your dreams yet, but you're doing fine without him. He was draining your energy.
Yeah.
So we can't take him back. And he can get scrawny. That's not your problem. His life is a mess. His life was a mess when he was with you. You just were cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
We need to let him go. And so 2024 into 2025, this whole time has just been a really rough time. And it was the perfect time for things to break down for him. It was the perfect time for there to be a breakup. Spirit told you to walk away. You listened. So when Spirit says something and they tell you, hey, look at the markers on the road, right? If there's a sign and you're driving down the road. Now listen to this, Denise. This is the analogy they're giving me. So you're cruising down the highway and there's a sign that says, go this way. And you're like, oh, why do I want to go this way? And then there's another sign that says cliff ahead. And then there's a sign that says turn here now, cliff ahead danger, turn here. What are you going to do? Keep heading to the cliff ahead danger? Because taking him back is you going off a cliff. You want to stay on the road you're on right now, honey. Get off the road. We are not going down the cliff again.
No, I don't. I mean, in the relationship in the beginning, that was like the best thing that could ever happen to me. And then a year later, it all just shifts.
I
It all
know.
just
I
shifts
know.
into
Because
a total stranger, somebody that I don't even know.
he couldn't be the man he showed you he was. And I'm going to tell you that that happens in a lot of relationships. People show up with their best suit on, and they show themselves and the best version of themselves. And it's the person they really want to be, right? But they know their history, they know their story, they know what they're capable of, they know their flaws, and suddenly something triggers them, or they get frustrated by something, or they begin to feel less than or insignificant because all those insecurities come right up to the top because you're so loving and so supportive that they suddenly don't feel worthy of you. And then they just systematically destroy the whole thing when they had the opportunity to be the best man, the best person they ever could be by being with you or whoever the story is about. So, it's what happens. Because people really have to do the work. And it's sounding like through a series of calamities, is the word Spirit gives me, that he's kind of done a little work and some self-reflection. So what are we going to do? Get out tissues and have boo-hoo, this is what happened? Yes, could you hear the man out? You could, but that's not advisable. Because that's going to pull on your heartstrings, and he's going to say all the things that are going to rope you back in, and he's not going to be able to be the better version of himself right now. He needs to stand on his own, build himself back up, and then attract a partner that's a vibrational match for him where he's at. Because while he's been gone, even though you did cry and you did feel sad and it really wasn't what you wanted because you were hoping you had invested time, that it would have been a different story, but then you had to walk away and you did what you had to do, wishing it hadn't been that way, but it is what it is. You have become stronger, better, more courageous, more self-sufficient, and your vibration has increased. So there's not going to be a vibrational match because he's still not equal on your vibration. That doesn't mean he's less of a person. That means he's not operating from the frequency that is going to be something that's going to help you grow and continue this path of expansion, connectivity to the divine, and also all the blessings I see coming for you for work and abundance. So we can't have somebody siphoning your energy. Are we clear?
Yes, I want to start dating. It's just I'm not seeing nobody that that I want to date. But I really want to start dating.
Well, you tell God to put someone in your path, and when you know it, at least expect it, someone's going to walk through the door, and it's going to be the person. So until then, you just keep window shopping. You just keep focusing on the qualities you want, and you tell his mom, whoever's telling you to boo-hoo for him, that they better help him pick up the pieces because it's not your job right now. All right,
I feel like right now, his thing is, he thought that when he left, I would have been calling him. You need to come back home. You need to do this. No,
Sure.
I never. The minute that man left out of here, I never picked up a phone and called him. Didn't even try to look on his page. No type. I blocked him off completely. And I guess it bothers him because that's not what he expected for me to just walk away the way I walked away.
Yes,
he didn't
he's used
expect
to.
it. So now he started calling, trying to call, trying to reach out. He's
But
not
listen to
working.
this.
He's trying to go through other people.
Listen. He is used to people falling for his shtick, and then when he pulls his stunts, them still feeling like they can't live without him and chasing him. Okay, that's what makes him feel important. And so now the cheese stands alone. You got to stand by himself. You're going to attract somebody else. This year for you is a new beginning, a fresh start. It is a year that, especially when we get close to your birthday, things really start to feel like they're finally turning around. So you clean up loose ends. You use this summer to reflect on the past, particularly the past 20 years and all the journeys that you've been on. It's been an interesting ride, my spirit guides tell me. And you get ready because your birthday is like a woo-woo, a new year, and a whole new 20-year cycle of excitement and fun. and you will have another partner. And if you don't like what you're seeing in your immediate vicinity as far as quality partners, then window shop elsewhere. But there will be someone. Be open and ask God to bring the person. Be specific and write down the qualities you want, and you will manifest. Thank you so much for calling us again, Denise, and thank you for the update. We're really glad that you followed the guidance of Spirit. And, we do feel badly for him that he's in a difficult way, but he has picked his path and he needs to work through his journey. Thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. 866-972-7247. So from Hollywood, Florida, we've got to go to Illinois. Hopefully it's getting a little warmer there. And we have Alyssa on the line. Alyssa, how are you?
Hi, Sarah.
Good to make this connection with you. I have a question for you, Alyssa. How old were you when you first called into the show?
Oh, God. Probably like 22, 21?
22, 21. How old are you now?
Maybe younger.
Younger,
25.
right? Yeah, remember your parents were getting separated? That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking it's over 10 years, right?
Actually, so probably when I was like 18, 17.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So you've been through quite a bit
And I'm
yourself,
25.
and you've come a long way. So good job, Alyssa. We're glad that you have come so far. I know you've had some twists and turns in your journey, and we thank you for following the show. What is your question for us tonight, Alyssa?
I was just curious, what do you see in my future? I'm going for my nursing degree in next month, and then do you see me graduating? And then where do you see my love life?
Well, you've had some tough moments in studying for your nursing degree. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a struggle for you, but you're pulling through and you're going to be able to do it. And I want you to believe in yourself. I know it's a lot of information. I know you get overwhelmed. You second guess yourself. And I know there's a big test coming for you at the end of all this, not just your school test, but then you have your state test, right, to become a nurse. And so, you've got to really study, be confident, and have the information available to you in your mind so you can just access it. And so you want to keep practicing. And it's the type of thing that is a challenge, and everyone goes through this in their studies to be a nurse. There's always a little spot that's challenging. For some, it's things having to do with pharmaceutical. For others, it has to do with chemistry. It doesn't matter. There's always something that makes someone be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But you're going to push through. You're going to do it. You're going to be fine. We're going to get you through school, and then you're going to take your nursing state boards, and you're going to pass. And people very often take it the first time, and maybe they don't pass. They go back and they do it, and then they pass. So we're not going to worry about that. I see you becoming a nurse. You're going to get that done. It's right there before you. Your love life seems a little upside down. What is the specific question? I don't really feel there's much of anything significant going on that's notable. What's your question?
Do you, see me finding the one, getting married, settling down? I'm 25. I want to get married. I want to have a house. I want to just get married and be with the person for the rest of my life.
I understand. And that is coming for you, but that's not your priority right now. Priority is you becoming your own foundation, putting yourself on track for your future. This year for you is about you networking with people to help yourself for work. And the following year is a lot about money. That doesn't mean we're not going to date somebody. But I really feel that in the next 2 years, you'll be completely settled with work and your partner. I just don't feel like you're going to find the one this summer. So if you're looking for some summer love, it's not going to be the one, because you are upping your frequency and working on shifting yourself to be a better version of yourself, because you went through quite a bit in your last relationship. And so we need to learn and reposition ourselves. Does that make sense to you, Alyssa?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. But it doesn't mean love's
put
not
my
coming.
School in first.
Get your school in first, and, you'll meet somebody. It's coming. Do I see you getting married? Yes. Do I see you happy? Yes. Do I see you with another child? Yes. So I see all these great things coming for you, but right now it's time to buckle down and get yourself set in a way that you always feel secure. So if anybody ever pulls the rug out from underneath you again, you're not going to be sent reeling and kind of being in this place of feeling desperate and uncertain and afraid and just hoping somebody's going to come back who didn't treat you right in the end. Okay?
Okay. Thank you,
All right.
Sarah.
You're welcome, Alyssa. Thank you so much. Keep us posted on your nursing. We greatly appreciate your call.
Thank
you
you.
for following the show.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Speaking of following the show, if you've been following the show for all 16 years, or you just started following us here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on the Oldie Station, we've got a party at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, and that's on Okeechobee Boulevard on June 11th. We'd love to see you there. We're going to have VIP tickets and general admission tickets. Love to have you share in the experience. Tomorrow, go to sarahspiritual.com. All the details will be up there. But we thought, since we had you all here listening on radio, we'd let you know. I sure would love to meet you. Come celebrate, have some cake, have some beverages, and all sorts of goodies. We're giving prizes away. There'll be raffles, and I want to meet you. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247, and we want to go to Deerfield Beach, and I've got Susan on the line. Susan, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Sarah. I'm very glad to get through. I have a very important question that I want to get answered.
Wonderful.
Basically, I'm a disabled senior, and I'm living on a disability check, and I'm sure a lot of people are in my boat that I can't pay my bills anymore. My check is not covering nearly enough, and my electricity, I couldn't pay that last month.
Oh, no.
Credit cards are maxed out. I've borrowed from the family as much as I can, and I'm trying to remain positive, but my anxiety is super high. I just don't sleep that much. I'm lucky if I sleep 3 hours a day. And I'm feeling overwhelmed. And at this point, I don't know what to do or where to go.
And that's a very valid point. And anyone in your shoes would be feeling overwhelmed right now. And there are a lot of people, and there are a lot of people even on their paychecks can't live anymore. So, we are in a state of difficulties right now. Things have gotten so expensive, and there's just it's difficult to live. And it's not like you're on your disability check. It's not like you could be like, all right, great, let me just go get a third job or a fourth job and do all I can. You are what you are. And so the first thing Spirit says is, are there any places that maybe house people in your shoes who are disabled, but it's like more of a general place where everyone has their own room, but it's a house? Is there any place like that? Did you check with the state? Are there any grants?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes. The problem is I'm above poverty level. So I've been limited. I do have a number to call to see what else they can do, but I can't do that much as far as the housing or even get utility assistance.
Right.
The good thing is I do go to a food kitchen Monday through Fridays, and I can get food from a pantry. So at least I'm eating. I have something. But
Right.
I have been looking, like I said, I have another number to call, but it's been very difficult to get anything.
Yeah, it is challenging, but you have to, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you're going to have
Right.
to continue pushing. But, I know there's a lot of people listening that they are already sending angels and prayers and support that the right person comes to you at the right time with the right solution. But what you can do to help your anxiety is you can say, I am the woman who is always attracting the right answer at the right time. I am always abundant, and everything I need comes with ease and grace. Right? So we don't really need to think, hey, I have to know how it comes. We just need the universe to somehow miraculously put something before you. And my heart goes out to you because you've done all you can. There's nothing more you can do but just keep knocking on the doors. So this is where God puts us all in this really uncomfortable place. When you're in this place, and anyone who's ever suffered financially or lost their place or not been able to pay their bills or feed their children, right? You throw your hands up. You're like, I don't know what I can do. And that's when God has us in a way that we can get molded, and we have to trust the universe. And there are many seniors in your exact spot, and I know you know that. And so you have to just trust that something will come. Call your legislators, call your congressmen. You call people and say, we need to do something. You be the voice in the darkness, because you've always been a fighter and you've always been able to make things happen for yourself. Now suddenly you feel like you've lost control of a car on an icy day and you're just spinning in circles, just inevitably waiting for the crash. And you need to grab hold of your emotions and your feelings and say, I will be provided for. I don't know how, I don't know when or how, but God is going to provide for me. And you need to trust that. And there'll be a kind stranger who will help you. Somebody will help you the next day. Something will happen to you, and you'll just trust the process. So let's just run the numbers with me. So we have our disability check. About how much are you short every month consistently now, as you're noticing?
Well, my dues went up. Everything went up. I am about $450 minimum, and that doesn't count trying to pay my hospital and medical bills. I mean, I'm not even touching them. So I'm about $450 short every month.
Right. And that doesn't even include your credit cards. Yeah.
Oh, they're maxed. They're totally maxed.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say $450, that doesn't count all the ones I'm not paying. This is just the essentials.
Right.
And I can't pay all my HOA dues because they went up so much. They've tripled.
Right.
And that, that hurts because I'm waiting for a letter about that. I mean, everything just seems like it's
caving
stalled,
in.
if you will.
It's caving in. Absolutely.
Yes.
But so you ask the universe to find a way to bring you, and this is why I asked what the number is. So we're going to ask that the universe find a way somehow in this immediate future to get to you $500. Now that doesn't solve your problems, but you can, my mentor, Mary Kay Ash from Mary Kay Cosmetics, said to us, you can eat an elephant a bite at a time. If we look at the whole elephant, you're like, holy crow, I got credit cards, I got hospital debt, I got this, I got that.
Right.
And oh my God, and now I don't have enough money. Well, we can't look at how we're going to pay everything. We just need to know, how do I cover all my essentials at this time?
Gotcha.
And that's what you start with. All right.
That sounds great. And I like the idea of talking to the congressman or whatever, because, something's got to change, and you're right.
Right. And you can be the voice in the difference. Right.
Not getting. Yep.
And
and
there's
that
so many
motivates
people
me to do that.
Right. And it breaks my heart because I sit across from so many people, and everybody's going through a little struggle, right? Because things have increased. But when we look at people who just they've exhausted all resources and they have nowhere to turn, then we wonder, well, what's happening in this country that we can't take care of our own people, right? And that's that's something we have to do. I mean, I have clients who have lived in cars, have lived in storage units. I mean, the stories and the perseverance of what we have had to do to survive. But even if you try to move, there's nothing cheaper than what you have. It's really
true. Yes.
And I know you've explored that.
You're
so
right.
You've got your brain is working, your fingers are working to dial, your mouth is working for sure. So we are ready. So you're going to pitch a stink right now, and you're going to ask God to have the right person answer the phone in any of the social services that are available so that they could say, we just launched this thing. I think I have something to help you. And that's what I want you to hear happening in your mind when you're picking up the phone. Someone's going to say, I have something to help you. And if you don't get that person, you go, you know what, I'm going to call back in a few hours. Someone else is going to answer the phone, and they're going to have something to help me. And that's going to be in your local level of what's available for you. Then you're going to get on the phone, and you're going to write, you're going to call, you're going to say, hey, something has to be done for seniors. Something has to be done with people with disabilities. Disability checks, there has to be a cap if in some of these situations where they can't raise the HOA on someone who's a senior, they can't raise the HOA on someone who's a disability, or you have to put together a building that is rent controlled in some way so that seniors and people with disabilities have a place to live. So go build that and stop building all the other things you're building here in South Florida.
No, that's a great idea. I wanted to just ask something real quick. I am a writer, and I'm trying to get published, and I actually had a session with you, and we talked about this a bit. And I'm planning to get my historical time travel book self-published probably in about 3 months.
Okay.
Because it's prepaid. I don't have to worry about money. It's already set. And I was wondering, will I be able to get some extra money coming in from that? It's very difficult, I know, with self-publishing, but was just curious what Spirit sees.
You get it up on Amazon, you get it up on some websites, you make connections, you print some copies and you do some digital copies and you start getting it out. And, especially initially, people rarely get rich overnight on a book, but it's something, right? And it's something that's part of your legacy that needs to be written. I've got to go because we're getting ready to go to commercial at our 8 o'clock hour. Thank you so much for calling. We greatly appreciate you. We send the angels to surround you, to bring you the right opportunities, the right solutions, and the right finances so that you can stay afloat. And remember, everything you need is always provided by God. Thank you so much for your call.
Okay.
God bless
you. Thank you.
Bye. Well, we welcome your calls here at 866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come right back and talk to you.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955 Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
Where
Yes, indeed, we are the light. We are the world, and we need to bring some more love around this world. We're so glad that you're joining us here for our final hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, right here on the Oldie Station. So glad you're joining us on 95.3, or perhaps you've got us on 95.9. Maybe you popped into 96.9, or maybe you're listening on 106.9 or 104.3 in Miami. Maybe you just tuned in to 104.7 HD3 or 103.1 HD3, but however you found me, welcome to our family. This is the family where we've been on national radio for 16 years, so where have you been? We're answering your questions, life's very important questions, and really getting the guidance from the divine, from spirit, from the angels, from the guides, and giving you the insight you need to navigate your life so you can be on track. We welcome your phone calls at 866-972-7247. We're also live on YouTube and live on Facebook on Sarah's Spiritual page. So go visit us and share the page, like the page, follow the conversation. We will be answering questions from our friends on our Facebook and YouTube page in just a minute. But from this moment on, we've got to get to our phone lines, and I've got to go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth is in New York. Elizabeth, how are you tonight?
I can't say well. I have to say.
You're hanging in
I'm
there.
having
Glad to make this connection. How about that? We'll take you right there.
Yes, it's just that I'm depressed, and it's hard for me to get myself motivated. I do things. I clean house. I go to the supermarket, but that's just about it. I don't do anything else except watch TV all day long.
Right.
And it's hard for me to get motivated and get moving and do other things, so I shouldn't feel this way.
Well, you have to change your energy. You have to change your intention. You have to do something different. You have to break your routine. You have to go outside, go for a walk, talk to people, go somewhere where other people are gathering and build conversations and new relationships. If you stay in your house, then, the energy just kind of swallows you up. And that's what I feel is happening to you. You're just getting swallowed up and you're just kind of withering away in nothingness, right? You're lost in the routine of life. And it's a very boring routine at this moment. Is that true?
Yes, but the thing is that I lost my husband.
I understand. I just wrote the word, I wish you were here. I just wrote the word loss here because you're surrounded by loss and mourning, and so that is really directing a lot of your emotions here.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people feel the same way when they lose somebody.
They do.
But we love each other so much that it's just I feel empty sometimes. And well, the house is empty because he's not here.
Right.
And I can't get myself motivated.
Yeah. And you talk to him, correct? Yeah. Even though he's not there, you're talking to him, yes? It's really important that you talk to him. You miss him, you love him.
Yeah, yes.
And you have his picture on a shelf there, or yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you're cleaning, you talk to the picture, yes?
Oh yeah, I have it on my phone. That's my wallpaper. I open my phone, he's there. I kiss my phone.
Yeah, I see you talking to him, but talking to a picture, right? And so, but don't you have a physical picture of him out in the house, please?
Yes, I have a few, a few.
Right. So, take one of those pictures that you have out in the house and take a little candle and light a candle for him. And tell him you want to visit with him in the dream state, so that you can connect to him in the dreams, because you're seeing that he's gone because he's not physically there, right? And you saw him leave the earth, but he's connected in the energy. And the minute you come to the understanding that he can still feel you, hear you, and connect to you, you'll find you'll have more comfort. And that's something that'll give you a better sense of peace. And your husband passed in the past 7 months. How long ago has it been?
November.
Okay, so let's see. December, January, February, March, April, May.
Almost 6 months. Easter Sunday was 5 months, and that really hit me like a rock.
Yeah, energy feels like it's about 7 months, but next month will be 7 months, so time's going quick, but this is the energy, and he's settling in above you in the energy. It takes some time for them to settle in, for me to make the connection to give you a message from him. But I also know that he wouldn't want you just aimlessly wandering the house, because he had so much admiration for you, and the two of you were like Bonnie and Clyde, like you did everything together. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And so
we were always together.
You were always together, like no matter what. I got to go for the store, I'll take a ride with you. Like we were always going and connecting and doing different things with each other. And, those are the memories that are tying you together. He takes me to his throat. Was there something blocking his throat before he passed, please? Was he having trouble swallowing or speaking? Because he takes me to his throat before he passed.
Well, his esophagus, he had problem with the esophagus.
Yes. Because he tells me he had difficulty here. If you were with me here, if you're watching this on Facebook, you'd see my hand is touching right here where I'm at the base of my neck. Kind of like how it feels when you swallow, like right there. And it just makes me feel like he's blocked, like he can't really swallow, or he feels weak, or he's difficulty speaking. This is something that was a big problem for him and very uncomfortable for him and made him feel like he was choking. Is that also true?
Sort of, yes. Okay. Because he had, he was ICU for 11 days.
Yes.
He was bleeding esophagus and he needed to get work done, and it was touch and go.
Yeah. And that's why he takes me here. See, I don't know you, but if I take you into the throat and difficulty in that area, that's our confirmation that he's with you, he's round you. His connection with me is not strong because telepathically he's not strong enough to transmit, but he's just making me aware of something that was problematic, uncomfortable for him before he passed. I know it wasn't the complete cause of his passing. I understand that, but I want you to know that he's with you and that you're not alone, and that he will continue to stay with you for quite a while, so you're not going to feel as alone as you're currently feeling. I know that this is a tough time for you. You will want to get out and meet new people. I know you're not ready yet. When I look at 2023 into 2024, so the end of 2023, this was a tough time for you, and it just got progressively worse. As we get closer to your birthday, things are going to start to feel better, turn around. You'll feel a little bit more powerful, a little bit more back in your skin, back into the rhythm of life. It's not going to replace your husband. You're always going to wish that he's with you. There's a song that Spirit gave me, and it's about when they pass, and it says something like this: don't you cry, don't you hide, you've got to live your life, even though you don't see me, I'm right here. So just remember that, and he'll be with you. Elizabeth, how did you hear about the show?
I had actually had a reading from you some years ago, and I had gotten the St. Michael spray, and I received the card in the mail, and I was looking in my closet trying to make heads or tails in there, and I found the book, and your card was inside the book, and I decided to call. That was today.
Well, we're so glad that the universe and your husband brought you to me, and we were able to reconnect. You know, we're here every Wednesday night, and we can continue to stay in touch. And then one day when you're ready, we can do a personal session on the phone or FaceTime or video, whatever. And that will let us kind of drill down and get into some of the specifics that are personal that we can talk about. I hope I've brought you some relief, Elizabeth. Your husband is with you. And know that you are fully supported by the guides and angels. And although you feel alone, you really never are alone. Thank you so much for your call. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to go back to our phone lines. And I've got to go to Fort Pierce. And I've got Tia on the line. Tia, how are you tonight?
How are you, Sarah? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
I'm doing great, thank you. We are so glad to make this connection with you, Miss Tia. And, you know, this year is about reaching out and making some changes, getting yourself in connection with the right people. You know, sometimes it's about who you know and what you know. And I think you need to increase your who you know. I feel like there's some changes that you want to make, changing of community, tribe kind of feeling of energy. We've been reevaluating friendships and people, but I'm also feeling this energy of like we might want to make a change having to do with work. We might want to talk to the right people and get something better for yourself. Is that an idea that you've had?
That's what I was going to ask you. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been out on FMLA, and I had like a little problem with the new supervisor because I've been on my job almost 2 years. And right when she started working, I got on FMLA. Then she called herself, I guess, was going to write me up or whatever, and behind something that she don't know about. So I'm supposed to go back to work from FMLA in June, the end of June or beginning of July, and I really wasn't thinking about going back. I was just thinking about going ahead and getting my notice after my FMLA. So, yes, you hit it right on the nail. Yes.
Yeah, that woman, for whatever reason, is gunning for you, and she wanted to come in like the superstar, all gangbusters, like, I'm going to take control of this place. And she can't write you up when you're on FMLA. Like, what is wrong with her? Like, that is like an HR violation.
Right.
So I don't know what she's doing, but she is on a power trip right now, and, you know, she really doesn't believe you're on FMLA for the right reasons, and so she's trying to make it sound like you're just avoiding your job, and why are we holding the job for you? So she's kind of come up with this little mini series drama at your workplace, which is kind of fascinating.
Right.
So, yes, I would start looking now so you can get a sense of what's out there in case you're going, oh, okay, it's not quite the right time for me to get a new job, so I may just slip back in and keep looking so that I don't give my notice and then end up with nothing, right? So, you know, keep your options open. So she wants to make your life heck. That's okay. She can try that, but you have the power to let her get to you or not. You're going to go, you're going to do your job, and you're going to just pay attention, and you're going to leave a paper trail. And she starts to write you up unnecessarily, then we got a big complaint coming anyhow. So not that you want that drama, but you want to make sure you have secured work for yourself, Tia.
Correct. Because I love my job. I really do. I've been there almost 2 years, and I never had any write-ups, no problems. I mean, employee of the month, and yeah, so.
Yeah, she doesn't like that very much.
No, she doesn't. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Right. Well, I'm glad Spirit was able to cut right to it and tell you exactly what you needed to hear. Get a new sense of community. See what else is out there in a similar job front and evaluate it. And then we see, you know, maybe God hears our prayers. Maybe you'll come back and she'll get herself in trouble and you'll be able to stay in the job you love, and God and the angels will just find another place for her.
You won't believe that. And that was my prayer.
Yeah, I listen.
That's-
we've
that's-
all had that prayer, right? Take them out, God.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
let God handle it for you. But see what else is out there,
Right.
because maybe this is a good time to reflect, and you might be able to get a job that's
Right.
similar that pays you more. So it doesn't hurt to
Correct.
look. All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Tia, for following the
Thank
show.
you.
We greatly
Thank
appreciate you. All right. Bye for now. Bye.
Be blessed.
Thank you. 866-972-7247. We've got to go to Marianne in Miami. Marianne, how are you?
Marlene.
Oh,
I'm
Marlene.
okay, and yourself?
I'm doing well, Marlene. Thank you so much. And Marlene, good to have this connection with you. I want you to be in your personal power. I want you to draw healthy boundaries. Your spirit guides want you to speak your truth. It's time for you to
Yeah.
believe in yourself, and they want you to take better care of yourself. Have you been slacking on taking care of Marlene?
Health-wise, yeah, I've been having to go to the doctor, but being that my schedule is always so busy with the kids and work, it's like I keep pulling it off. But I know it's been like that background, like this voice in my ear telling me you have to go, just go get your checkup, and I'm planning to do that next week.
You have to, because your spirit guides want you to pay attention to your health. So this is your confirmation. Do not change that appointment. It'll be next week in a few days. Before we know it, it'll be here. You show up at that doctor's appointment, have someone else pick up your children, have someone on standby if something happens, and you show up at that doctor's appointment. Get your script, get your blood work, get everything done that you need to get done, and just clear the deck, all right? Because I see you feeling very inflamed. I also see a lot of, I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose, but I see you feeling very tired. I actually feel like you're kind of having a little anxiety. Your heart's kind of racing. So we're not quite sure what's going on with that. Does that make sense to you? And you're feeling a little dizzy too. So we need to get this checked out.
Okay.
All right. Was that your question for me, Marlene?
Well, my question was about the last relationship that I was in. I've been having like visions about I cut the relationship short, and because of certain, promises
Behaviors.
that were made and they were not kept, and and my standards, I have boundaries and standards, and I just felt that they were not respected, so I cut the person off. But I've been having like dreams and vision of them like coming back around, and I just wanted a little insight on that.
I'll give you some insight on that. So let's stay with that. Don't go off on another story for me, because Spirit's already talking in my ear. Remember when I first connected, this is about your truth, right? This is about your boundaries. This is about, lines in the sand. So you've got your answer right there before I even connected officially with you to even ask a question or for us to really have much of a conversation. So, no, he's showing up in your dreams, # not your problem, okay? He's showing up in your dreams because he's thinking about you, and maybe he has some reflection of I could have maybe done better. But there was a lot of patterns of bad behavior, and you held your standards because you have children and you're a role model for your children and you have respect for yourself. Why, since we have respect for ourselves, are we going to bring in another person to kind of mess that up and make us question our sanity, which I feel like he played a lot of mind games? So that answer is no. You tell him not to come in your dreams. You tell your spirit guides to protect you, all right? And you rebuke him. And you keep the party moving, all right? Because this is your year of love, and I would hate to have this man in the way of your next person coming.
Right.
All right? Because this year is a year of love. Self-love first, self-care first. Got to take care of that first. Then love comes around the mountain, and poof, before you know it, we don't have mountains here in South Florida, but you know what I mean. And love comes on the cruise ship. pops off in Miami, and there he is standing on a street corner. So we need to be ready for that.
Okay.
right.
And one is it within the same relationship? Like, do you see it being somebody in my past or a person like
Oh,
a new
no,
person?
we are not looking back, honey. They're in the rearview mirror for a reason.
Okay.
No, no, no. This is someone that you don't know, someone new. That's what I see. So we're not looking back.
Okay.
All right? They are in the
Okay.
past and an ex
Because
for
I
a
was
reason.
reconsidering my kid's father, but that just cleared that for me. Okay.
Yes, but where was he all this time? What has he done for you? How are we going to hold all these boundaries and standards, right? And now
Yes.
your kid's father, who failed you in somewhere earlier in these years, now suddenly is maybe a different person. And I understand that we want to
Right.
do that for our children. That would be lovely. But your children's father has a history. So why are we going there?
Right.
This is true, correct?
Yeah. It's not a, yeah, it's pretty much true. He wasn't a bad guy. It was just his family was too involved with witchcraft and other unnecessary stuff.
Okay, so what do we want to do? Listen, they were
Yeah.
involved in stuff, let's get this straight for the record, for everyone listening. Yes, people will dabble, and they will have thoughts. Thoughts are energy, so and a thought could be as strong as a witchcraft spell. Yes, people may practice
Yes.
whatever they practice, and that's their choice, their free will choice. But he is a man, and he should be able to withstand that energy and be a better person, right? We cannot use that as an excuse.
He never. Yeah, that's true because he never when it was aside of that, he was not the type that would put his foot down, and that's what gave them the access. If he would have man up and put his foot down and prioritize that his wife and kids were first, that would have been like a barricade where they would not have, that access to do what they was doing and be, to have full access. So it's his fault too for not manning up. Definitely.
Correct. Because we have to all protect ourselves and we have to all not live in fear, but you have to have your armor on. You have to be in the shield of light. You have to know who you are. You have to have character. And when things start to act up and you realize you're acting out of character, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on with me? Why do I not feel right? Why am I not myself? Maybe I need to get myself looked at. Maybe I need to pray more. Maybe I need a spiritual bath. This is why I have a center in West Palm Beach, because people do need to clear their energy. They do need to learn to pray more, how to meditate. This is why I teach classes. So people know how to help themselves when things try to come and catch us unguarded and catch us by surprise and bring us down. So as again I said, we're not looking in the rearview mirror, honey. We are moving forward.
Yeah.
Someone new is
I
coming.
agree.
All right. Thank you so much for your call, Marlene. How
Thank
did you hear? How did
You're
you hear
welcome.
about the show?
My family friend, well, she's a family member. The niece she called earlier, it was through her.
Oh, great. Well, you tell her I
Family
said thank
member
you.
/ friend.
All right, and you be sure to
Okay,
tell
I
everyone in
will.
Miami, because I want to talk to everyone in Miami, and tell them to listen to me on WSFS 104.3 in Miami.
Yeah, for sure. I have a salon. I would tell all my clients.
Good. I
about
would love
you.
that. Thank you so much, honey. All right?
Okay.
Bye for now.
All righty. Take care.
Yes. 866-972-7247. Goodness gracious, I just looked at the clock. We're on our 769th live radio show, and we've got a party coming up. That's live at the Expedito Center, June 11th. It is our 16-year anniversary coming up, and I would love to see you there. So be sure to check Sarah Spiritual and get all the information. In just a day or so, we'll have everything posted. Thanks so much. Stay tuned. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be back right here on the Oldie Station.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
We are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. We welcome your phone calls at 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to our phone lines. And before we go to our phone lines, get our people in Facebook ready, get your questions up. So after I take a couple of calls, I'm going right back to Facebook. So everyone on Facebook and YouTube, get yourself ready. Okay, now I'm going to go to the phone lines. I've got to go to Paula, and Paula is in Stewart. Paula, how are you tonight? Are you there, Paula?
Hello.
Hi, Paula. How are you?
Hi,
Paula,
how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Paula. And
no, this is Janet.
Oh, Janet. How are you, Janet? Good to talk to you. What is your question for us tonight?
I'd like to know how my summer's going to go.
Can you
Like
tell
in
me what
relationships.
Oh, you see, there's a little more. How's your
What-
summer going to go? It depends on what you do for your summer. If you're sitting in the house all day, not much is going to go on. If you go outside, you're going to have a fabulous summer. But let's take a look, Janet. Let's take a look at, well, relationships. This has been not quite working in your direction, dating and relationships. Is that true?
I don't know what to say about that.
You really
That's
haven't
somebody
met...
from my past that keeps coming back. Yeah. And I don't know how that's going to work out.
Well, use the summer to see who you meet this summer. What
You
is
think
the
I'll
birthday?
meet somebody new?
What is the birthday of the person from the past? Let me check out their energy.
February 19th. I don't know. I don't know the year.
Okay. And they're coming back from the past because they're past from like 5 years ago. How long ago is this? About 5 years?
No, that sounds about. No, we've always been friends, but.
But
you know, I
coming
just
back
can't
from
figure a
dating
person out.
has been what, 5 years?
Yeah, at least 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like you two are better friends. There's something about them that's just not consistent, or they're a little wishy-washy. There's something that not quite take charge and, I don't know, take life seriously here. So be open to someone else. I mean, you'll always still be this person's friend, but I really wouldn't put all my eggs in that
Mhm.
basket for sure. I would be open for new love. This year is actually a good year for you to also deal with money, money opportunities, investments, properties, anything
Mhm.
like that. It's going to be a good year for you for finances all the way through 2025. And then 2026 really brings in this soul grounded energy. So you should meet your soul mate somewhere between this summer and next summer. So you should meet somebody who would be a
Okay.
good partner for you.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, I'm having a lot of car trouble. How do you think that's going to turn out?
Engine trouble is what it is, yes?
No, it's not real. Yeah, I have an old car, but I'm trying to get a new one, and I don't know how that's going to turn out.
But the car is like stalling and giving you trouble with the engine, the car you have right now?
No, it's not really getting stuck. It's just old.
Okay.
Like I'm ready for a new one, but I don't know how to go about. You know, I have to take the time to go do that, and I'm not sure where to begin.
Well, you have to go to a reputable place that sells cars. Depends if you want to get a new car or a used car. You know, that's the other question. Well, how much you want to spend, right? Cars have definitely gone up in price these days. So,
Right.
I mean, your car can
So
last.
do you see that
your,
happening?
Your car can last a little bit longer, but because I said this is a good money year, it's also a good year to make a financial transaction, such as buying a car, because everything's in your
Right.
favor to make that happen. So that has to do with like investments and money. That's where your car energy comes in. So that's it's a perfect time to get a car. You just do not get a car during Mercury retrograde. So that would be my suggestion. I do feel that if you look into getting a car in the middle of June to the middle of July, that would be a nice window to take action.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right,
That
so
sounds
go
good. I'll
do
take your
some
advice.
research. Do some research and decide if
Uh-huh.
there's a car that's a couple years old that you want to get, or you want to get a new car and not have to worry for a very long time. This way you can just enjoy a new ride. All right, Janet, thank you so much
All
for your
right,
call. We greatly
All right,
appreciate it.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All
Bye
right,
for
thank
now.
you.
Bye. 866-972-7247. Let's visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see who's got a question, who's got a situation. let's see what Spirit can offer as an answer to your questions live here on Facebook and YouTube. Let's take a look. Ariana Rose says, hey, will my medical procedure in office be successful and a one and done? It will be successful. I don't feel that there needs to be a second attempt at correcting this problem, so I do feel one and done should be a good thing for you, Ariana Rose. I do feel that this is a really important year for you spiritually, and I feel that this is a perfect time for you to be doing something, especially the date that you're doing seems to be a very good, solid date for you. So I feel like all systems go. Do everything that you need to do to prepare for this. And spiritually, do all your prayers. Particularly, Ariana Rose, I suggest that you pray Psalms 23 from the book of Psalms and Psalm 13 before your procedure, and that will help keep you protected and have everything be quick and easy, and as you say, a one and done. Thank you, Ariana Rose, for your YouTube question. We're going to take another question from our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Juanita Wong. When will my situation get better? I know it's so frustrating, Juanita, and I know that it's been a difficult time. This year is a year of challenges and change for you, and these challenges and changes are kind of bringing you to your knees. But I do feel the doors of opportunity do open up, so don't give up. Keep trying, and it will get better. And I know we're in the spring. We're not quite officially in the summer, but I feel like in the next few months, you'll get to see the light of day. Your head will start to feel like it's coming above water, and things will be in a better financial situation for you. And things will line up so that you feel like you have your power back. Thank you so much for your YouTube question. Let's grab one more from Facebook and YouTube before I go back to my phone lines at 866-972-7247. Let's take someone from Facebook and YouTube. We have Tammy Dawn on Facebook. She says her daughter, will my daughter receive favorable news on her architecture, or will she be directed to pursue another pathway? Let's take a look here. So her daughter, Tammy Dawn, will your daughter be successful here? You know, this is a year of choices for your daughter, and I do feel that her architecture is good. I don't know that she'll be directed to another pathway. I really feel like her heart is set on this architecture. And you know that saying, if you don't succeed at first, you sometimes have to try again or a different way. But I do feel like she's going to do favorably. Your daughter's getting ready to make a major change in her life, and this is something that can kind of propel her moving forward. We thank you so much, Tammy Dawn, and keep us posted on your daughter's pin-up for architecture. Sounds very fascinating, and give her our best. Bye for now. Let's go to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. I've got to go to Melissa, and Melissa is in Houston. Melissa, how are you tonight?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing well, Melissa. Thank you so much for your call. And what is your question for us tonight?
Yeah, I was just trying to find out if Justin would come back.
Could you repeat the question? Because you kind of faded in the middle of your question.
Yeah, I was just trying to find out if Justin is coming back.
What is the person's birthday?
10/7/82.
Ugh. And when I go back and I look at January and February of this year, was this a difficult time between the two of you?
We didn't know each other then.
Okay. Were you going through a difficult time? Were you coming out of another relationship, Melissa, or feeling alone and upset?
Just feeling alone, upset. I kind of got out of a difficult, another difficult situation with a previous relationship.
Yeah. So you and Justin were not together for a long period of time. Is that also correct?
Right.
At this minute, Justin is kind of non-committal. He's not really looking for anything serious. He may have kind of told you something different, but he may pop back with a phone call, but I don't see him coming back to stay. Have you had any contact with him?
In a week, no.
Yeah. Okay. Give it another week, but my guides maybe write the number 3. Since you've been talking, I've been writing number 3. So we're going to know where we stand with Justin within the next 3 weeks. Because it's almost like he ghosted you. Is that correct?
This ended on kind of bad terms.
Yeah.
We just kind of weren't seeing eye to eye on a couple of things, and things just didn't end the way that they should have, and I would have wanted them to.
But he's also very, very opinionated and very stubborn, and so let's give him a little time to kind of soften. If we don't hear from him in the next 3 weeks, then he is not coming back. That decision has not been made in the spirit world yet. He has not officially made up his mind. Because you challenge him, he challenges you. So now he has to kind of just go dark right now and kind of figure it out for himself. But Melissa, keep us posted on this, all right, my dear? You've called into the show before, yes?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. All right. So keep us posted, Melissa. Bye for now. Bye.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
866-972-7247, welcoming your phone calls. We've got to go to Connecticut. I've got Amanda on the line. Amanda, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you down in sunny Florida?
Oh, we're sunny and we're nice and warm, honey. How can we help you tonight?
I know you're short on time, so I gotta try to think of the best question. Last week I've had a rough week with work and kind of been in that funk kind of mindset and things that even transpired that came up today. What do you see like my career path with work and things that came up today? I don't want to say too much.
You know, I kind of feel like you're kind of being blocked, stopped, and you know, it's an important time for you to, you know, keep showing up, doing a good job. And when people give you a pushback, you know, you need to kind of stand up for yourself and you need to just keep doing a good job. You need to trust that, you know, the power of your angels is stronger than the power of the people who try to block you. It's like they're happy with you where you are doing what you do, and they don't really want to promote you. And then there's 2 people in your organization that kind of are jealous of you, or they like to cause problems for you, and feel like one of them is trying to get you written up or cause a little bit of a havoc around you.
I was let go.
I'm sorry.
I was let go this weekend.
That's what happened this weekend? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Okay. So somebody started
I kind of wanted to that way.
Because you're cutting out, Amanda. Somebody tried to get you in trouble and
Well, it felt like that. Kind of people watching over me, reporting to other parties, and you can't work like that in the toxic environment was taking a toll on my health, but I wanted to leave on my own, but kind of it is what it is. No other way to say it.
Okay. No other way to say it, but just keep pushing through, keep doing your job, do the best that you can, Amanda, and trust that the universe will have your back. Paper trail everything, and just take it from there. You know, there are people who, they just like to stir trouble, and they have very narrow little experiences, and things have to stay in the lane that they're comfortable in, and that's not going to always fly for you. I want you to trust this, Amanda, and I want you to just know that you're not to get rattled by this experience, right? This can happen at any job, even if you left this job. You could have this happen somewhere else, and then we'd have a problem, right?
Right. Do you see how long I'm going to be out, or is it time just to focus on my daughter with the summer coming up and just wait for the phone call for an interview?
I would say wait for a phone call. Just spend some time with your daughter right now.
Okay. And I did receive paperwork today. How do you see that's going to play out at the beginning of that process?
Is that a legal paper, please?
Yes.
And that has to do with something having to do with paperwork and money, please?
Close enough. You could say that much.
Okay. So I do feel these papers are going to work for you. It's just you're going to have to follow the protocol for this, document everything, and, seek assistance to make sure that you're preparing everything properly so that you can have the best outcome. But this is meant for you, Amanda, to be a year to push you to grow. It is a year for you to break routines and kind of step out of things that are no longer serving you. So in a way, it can be a year of endings, but endings can also be new beginnings. So any person, place, or thing that doesn't work for you, we're done. Anything that's in the systems that have to be changed and altered, let's make the corrections. Anything that we need to continue with, we need to make sure we put all the efforts and not make the mistakes we've made in the past so that we can continue with some things that are coming to us, any benefit, anything that's to help us. Let's make sure we stay on top of all our paperwork. All right, my dear?
Okay, I have one last question.
We have to go to we have to end right now, Amanda, unfortunately, because I do have to get ready to close out the show. But we thank you for your call, and maybe ideally in the weeks of the month to come, we can have a personal session, and we can get into some of the specificity of what's going on. All right?
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your call. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
866-972-7247. Write that number down. I would love to hear from you next Wednesday night, live here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. If we didn't get to your call, well, I would love to talk to you next week. Be sure to call in next week. Our phone lines go live at 6:30 p.m., and I want to talk to you. So call in, join the experience of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We've been hanging out with you now, coming up on 16 years, and I can't wait to see you at our live show on June 11th at the Expedito Center. Stay tuned for more information and visit sarahspiritual.com tomorrow for all the goodies so you can register for your ticket for our live show. Thank you so much. Good night, and God bless you. I am Sarah Spiritual.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the proceedings